It covers all the workers and all the employers in the European Union. They are represented through national cross-industry trade union organizations and employers organizations, and through their affiliation at European level, the representativeness of the European associations is shaped. So the study looks at this representativeness, but also at the limits of it. And so there are national trade union organizations and national employers organizations that are not yet represented at European level. They are being identified and listed in the study, and it also looks whether there are any other European associations with some representativeness, of which CESI is a good example. European social dialogue is in the heart of the EU policy making, and the representativeness of the European social partners legitimizes this. This year, in 2023, there were negotiations ongoing for an agreement on telework. Fortunately, this failed, but if this would have been resulted into an agreement, the implementation via a council directive would have been legitimized on the basis of the representativeness of the European social partner organizations. In such a process, the European Parliament doesn't play a role, and it's exactly the representativeness of the European trade union organizations and the European employers organizations that legitimizes their role as legislator in this context. The European social partners, however, do not only make agreements that become a directive, they also make joint opinions and any other actions. They're involved in the semester and at technical level in the Employment and Social Protection Committee, and also in consultations, in dedicated hearings, and each time their actions are being legitimized based on their representativeness. The start of the European social dialogue is the Val d'Uchaise process of 1985, in which the ETUC, UNICE, which is now Business Europe, and CEP, which is now SGI Europe, gathered. They also made an agreement in 1991 that became, via the social protocol of the Maastricht Treaty, now part of the treaty in Articles 153, 54 and 55. The basis of this study is also the grounds on which the European Commission and the social partners can see how they further develop the European social dialogue. And as you know, President von der Leyen has for next year announced a new Val d'Uchaise process, and the involvement of the actors in this process is of course based and legitimized on their representativeness, which is the subject of this study. In some countries, in some EU member states, it's based on mutual recognition. In others, it's based on the fulfillment of legal requirements. How this works in each of the 27 member states, you can find in the country pages in the annex of the study. The representativeness of the European social partner organizations justifies their participation in the European social dialogue, but also in the wider EU policy-making field, like in the semester process, in the Employment and the Social Protection Committee, in the Tripartite Social Summit, and it also gives weight to their joint opinions and other joint actions, but also in their individual actions as European associations.